What's up, y'all? Got a banger from Matthew Hussey. Let's get straight into it.
A little bit of background. I'm a psychologist. I'm finishing up my PhD.
Red flag number one.
I have had such a hard time in relationships.
Shocker.
I feel like I know the theories, I've read a lot.
That's the problem.
But I just really struggle. And it's just...
Which part do you feel you struggle with in particular?
It's really hard for me to feel close to men, and I feel like I also draw people who share too much initially, and then I get really overwhelmed by them in romantic.
That's okay.
Why do you think you draw people like that?
I think I'm open, and I think people are like, oh, I can tell you anything. I just feel like I can share so much.
Right.
And I don't know how to so that also brings people who are really problematic or who have a lot of trauma. And I just
notice how it's all about them. It's not about her. It's not about anything that she's doing. It's about the people that I attract are this, that, the third. It's the blame game. This is why these women are single.
I'm here because I'm just what can I do to change that and to
Tell me a little more about the being, because it's an interesting contrast, right? You saying that people, they come forward and they suffocate me with information and oversharing, but you said you find it hard to get close to men. What did you mean when you said that? Or did you just
she's also contradicting herself.
mean that your reaction to the oversharing is to pull back?
It's to pull back, but also to
Make it make sense.
to connect, to really build on relationships, to not, whenever I see something wrong, I immediately leave.
Okay, that's a you problem.
I don't like to work through things.
I see.
That's a problem.
Yes.
Can I just say I have the same problem? And
Yeah.
I was going to mention it because I'm a behavior analyst, and
This is why all these psychologists, these therapists, all these women are single, because they overanalyze everything. They're overthinkers, and they think every man that comes to them and opens up is they're just trauma dumping. This is why these women are single.
had a date the other day, and the guy just told me his whole life story, and I was like, I know I'm a good listener, but it kind of scares me away, right? And then I'm like, no, because then I'm analyzing everything. I'm like, no, why? It's too much, too soon. And then I don't know, just like you, I was like, oh my God, am I the only one? I guess I'm not.
Psychologists,
it's torture. It's no,
therapists.
I want to fix you, stop. And it's always the needy guys, and I'm like,
It really is. Yeah. And I feel almost now that I'm finishing my PhD, that almost makes
I'm a PhD. Stay away from these women.
men more intimidated, and they're like, you're a psychologist, or you do this kind of work. Absolutely, I can't handle it.
I was saying, I'm gonna, because I used to be a hairstylist, so I'm like, should I just say I'm a hairstylist? I'm not analyzing your every move. I don't even
Hairstylists are just as bad, though.
know what to say anymore.
When people are intimidating, they're usually not connecting. When we're sitting with someone and we're curious about them, when we're impressed by them, the being intimidating part tends to dissolve because someone feels like, oh wow, this person thinks I'm impressive, or they think I'm interesting, or they think there's something about me. And it also, man or woman, I'm not talking about women here, man or woman, it's important, I believe, we tend to lead with the weapon we're most comfortable wielding. Right? We all have our weapon of choice. Think for a moment, everyone in this room, what your favorite weapon, the sword you...
Let's take a break here for a sec. What's your weapon of choice when you're going out on a date? What's your weapon of choice? Personally, mine is humor. I know I can always come out with a bang. I can be humorous. I can be funny. Or some of you guys, is it your nihilism? Is it your looks? What is it? The way you dress? What is it? My personality, at least what I pick, is my humor.
Feel best swinging is
being funny, not being serious.
Everyone's got it. For some women, it's...
But here's also another thing on that. When you're going out on a first date, bro, don't try to let this girl understand you. Being mysterious is okay. Because the thing is when a woman lacks information on you, what does it do? It makes her want to know more. It's just like when someone's speaking and they speak a lot quieter, people lean in, right? The quieter you speak, the slower you speak, the more people understand, first of all. And second of all, the more people listen. You want people to take you really serious? Speak slowly and speak softly. Everyone will lean in to hear what you're saying. Be the last one to speak. Ask a lot of open-ended questions. Talk to me about this. Talk to me about that. Elaborate. What do you mean by that? I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Like, doing these kinds of things, just by simply asking questions, women will think, he's so nice. He's such a nice guy. Baby girl, I'm trying to get in those cheeks. I'm just asking you questions because I know most women like to talk about themselves. So if I get you talking about yourself, that's a win for me. So you have to realize that when you go out on a date, keep it very superficial. Don't let them know the real you. Let them know the person that you want them to know, right? I believe there's three sides of a person, right? There's the person you know internally who you are. There's the person that other people perceive you. And then there's the person that you want other people to perceive you as. So there's three people, right? It goes with the id, the superego, and the ego. But in these initial meetings with a woman, like a first date, never completely open up, ever. That's very bad. It's a sign of weakness, actually. Stand your ground. If she asks you these crazy questions, like, almost shame her and be like, why are you asking me these crazy questions? Like, we're just having dinner here. Try to keep it funny. Try to keep it light. Being funny is the best, in my opinion, the best tactic on a first date.
It's like being ultra sexy.
Yeah, see?
That's the sword they wield.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person comes to me and says, you know, men only see me in one way.
Women are marketers, men are salesmen.
And we unpack often the fact that this weapon they're wielding is A, attracting a certain kind of person,
mm-hmm.
and B, actually stopping people from seeing what else is there.
Mm.
When people are intellectual, or they've done, you know, they've been to an amazing college, or they've had, then
a lot of college educated women lead with their intellect, which is a big turnoff for men. Don't try to overpower me mentally. Let's just have a conversation.
Tends to be the weapon that they're most comfortable wielding.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll often walk into situations armed up as the intellect.
Yeah.
My suspicion is that you're using the weapon that's comfortable to you, which may be deep conversation.
Yes.
Well, she's baiting men for deep conversation and then demonizing them when they open up. What?
And then when they meet you there and say, okay, deep conversation mode, you keep asking questions because you go, well, at least we're talking. I guess we're talking. I guess we're connecting. So another question, another question, another question. And then at the end of it, you go, why are they telling me so much information?
Exactly, dude. Stupid. It's her actions that are getting her the results that she doesn't want. Stop asking the questions if you don't want the answers.
Yeah.
But it's not, it's because...
Childish.
It's not all your fault. It's just that you're comfortable letting it unfold that way. And what I need you to do is take a risk to lead it a different way. And in dating, there always has to be a first mover of some kind, right? There always has to be someone who just takes the little step in that direction.
This is why I say, dude, you have to lead these women. You have to lead these conversations. Never let a woman lead the conversation. She should be waiting for you to ask the questions. You have to lead this because the thing is, in my opinion, instinctually, biologically, women are followers and men are leaders. It's up to you to dictate the terms of the conversation, set the mood, set the environment, set the tone for the conversation. This way, when you're talking to this woman, she can follow your lead. And women think that's sexy. Women all love men that can lead. Even the feminists that are haters, and they're like, I don't like men, misogyny. At the end of the day, they will submit to their boss. They will submit to another man. They'll submit to their daddy. And then when they get old enough and then they hit the wall, then they're like, where are all the strong men at? Where are all the good men? I just want a good, strong man. Well, you've been demonizing them for so long, they all ran away from you.
Like, it's that first time you're, around someone you thought was a friend, and they tell you look good in a way that a friend doesn't. And they just reached out a little bit. And then when you take a step forward, you're doing the same, and they get validated, and they go, that was nice, that worked. Okay, I'll do a little bit more. I have finished entire dates where I had no idea the woman I was on a date with actually found me sexually attractive. No idea. I knew she thought I was a decent human being. I knew that. But that's not what makes us call each other, is it? We don't go home to our friends and go, you know, I'm so excited to see this person again. They are such a decent human being. What gets us to call, man or woman, is when we have that beautiful combination of connection and chemistry.
And let me put you on game real quick. You want to know an easy way to do this? Get into relationships, talking about that. What's your longest relationship? Cool. All right, cool. Who ended it? All right, cool. Break the ice and then be like, what are your love languages? And just get her to break those down. And as soon as she tells you, if she doesn't know, this is a moment for you to educate, which is great because it makes you seem like an empath. It makes you seem like you're emotionally intelligent, right? Makes you seem like you're emotionally mature. Then you can explain what the 5 languages of love are. You explain those. If you don't know what those are, please go look them up. It's like words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, physical touch, and quality time. Those are the 5. Go through, educate her on what those are, and be like, well, now that you know them, which ones would you have in order? Let her lay them out in order, and that lets you know exactly what your game plan should be. This is always you can bring this up lightheartedly. You can bring this up this way. If she's like, well, physical touch is my last, you'll be like, okay, she's not going to gain a lot from me grabbing her hand or kissing her. But if it's like words of affirmation, you know to feed the ego. If it's quality time, just sit there and be present with her and listen to her talk, right? If it's gifts, get her things. You know what I'm saying? But like, if a girl says her first one is gifts, already run. It's a red flag, bro. If she says gifts is my love language, get out. I want like, for women, I think the top 3 things you want to look for is like words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, or words of affirmation, quality time, and God, what was the other one? I don't know. I listed them all out. The last one that you always want them to have is like gifts or acts of service. Like you want physical touch, and the other one's words of affirmation, quality time. You want those to be the top 3. Definitely not the bottom 3.
We'll even call if there's just chemistry. We'll fuck up our lives on just chemistry. But we won't do it if there's just connection. It doesn't work the other way around. Most of us won't do it on just connection. It doesn't give us that fuel that makes us want to pick up the phone. Oh, I got to call this person. I got to call them. It doesn't make us do that. I finished entire dates where I didn't know if someone found me hot. Not found me attractive, that's different.
Yeah, hot is like a hop in the sheets. Attractive is like he's a good looking guy.
It isn't even quite it, you know? Hot.
Sexy.
And I wake up the next day and I say, well, that was really nice. We had a good conversation, but I don't know. It didn't make me want to pick up the phone. And I was attracted to that the reason I went on the date is because I thought they were really attractive. I went because I thought they were attractive, but I didn't finish with any electricity. So there was nothing charging the next stage. And then a day later I get a text. Last night was really fun. I'd love to see you again. And I'm like, what? I've had that experience where you go, were we on the same date? How do you feel? So you like me. Someone shouldn't be surprised to hear you like them. That shouldn't come as like a piece of a revelation. Oh my God, she actually likes me. I'm not saying you have to spend a date doting over someone. That would be bad too.
Never do that.
But just
end the sympedemic.
A moment, a glimmer where someone realizes, oh, we're not friends. And we're not gonna be friends. That's sexy when you feel that. Okay, I get it, we're not friends. Okay, now let's keep talking. Now you keep talking about all the other cool stuff, but there's a subtext. The problem is when you're on a date and you're talking about all of that stuff, but there's no subtext. Now you're just in conversation. So, biggest advice for you, for anyone, for all of us, what's the weapon I am most comfortable wielding, and how is that weapon hurting me?
I love it, because he actually makes it about them and not what everybody else. See, this is why I'm so big on stoicism, dude. Because you have to control what you can control. And the only thing you have control over is how you react. You have no control over any circumstances or what happens in the outside world. But the only thing you have control over is how you react. And see, this is what a lot of these women do. They go out and they play the blame game.
Well, he wasn't this. He wasn't that. He trauma dumped on me. And he's not the man that I thought he was going to be.
This is what they do. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Especially with these therapists, psychologists, behavioral analysts. What in the H-E-double hockey sticks is that? Behavioral analyst? What do you mean, a nanny? Stupid. What is that? Hairstylist, bad as well. Any woman that's in like a creative type of a leadership role at her job is bad. Nurses are bad too. It's tough because they're used to going to work and dictating the terms. They're used to bossing people around. And women are bossy innately. Innately, they're bossy. Like you see like when you were younger, you might have had friends that were girls and boys, and the girls were always bossy. No, like, you know what I mean? That's just their nature, right? To boss you around. That's what they do. But you have to realize that. This is why as men, we always have to dictate the terms on these dates. You have to lead the tone, lead the conversation, and lead the energy of what you guys are talking about, right? You have to be confident, charismatic, humorous. Like the ebook, I talk about all these things. Like if you have those 4 traits, charismatic, confidence, humor, and I always forget the last one. But if you have all of these traits and you have a good culmination of them, then you can lead a conversation in a way that makes a woman want to follow you. And a lot of times guys go out to dates and they don't have a game plan. But here's the other thing. You can have a game plan and the game plan could not work. Stupid. You got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Guys, if you're going out on these dates and these girls aren't paying you attention that you think you deserve, or that you think that they're not giving you the same reciprocation of energy and the same reciprocation of focus and time and effort that you're giving, bro, keep it pushing. There's so many women out there. Go out on another date. Get back on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble or whatever it is. Now, if you get on Bumble, you're probably going to meet a feminist. I think Bumble's the absolute worst. But the thing is, you got to know which app to go for what, right? You go to Tinder, hook up. You go to Hinge, probably a hookup. Plenty of Fish, hookup. Bumble, feminist. It's kind of tough. It's hard to see which one you actually would get a relationship out of. But here's what I would do. If I was a single guy right now, I would start frequenting places where women are that may be in a realm of that have the type of personality that I'd want to be around, or that I might want to date. You don't usually meet your wife at the club. You don't meet your wife at the bar. But if that's the personality you have and that's what you like, then great. Go out there and get it, buddy. But for me, when I was using the dating apps years ago, they were actually okay. Now, a lot of it was hooking up, but you could actually make a genuine connection. Nowadays, bro, it's awful. I feel bad for men because women now want a man to be 6 figures, 6-pack, 6 inches, 6 figures, everything, 6 feet, but then they want a guy to be 25. Like, what? This man is not about to be 25. You're talking about a man who's at least like in his 40s, and the thing is, these women do not want to date a man who's in his 40s. Oh, he's too old. Like, well, when do you think a man reaches his financial stride? Let me know in the comments. When do you think a man actually reaches his financial stride? Newsflash, it's anywhere between 40 to 50. It takes us men a long time because it takes us a long time to get advancement in a career and get the knowledge to be able to get paid more. Because once again, in the past episodes, I've talked about this, where you get paid. A direct correlation to your compensation is the value that you can bring to the market. If you can't bring a lot of value to the market and you don't have a lot of information and a lot of skills, you're not going to get paid a lot. It's as simple as that. And us men, we realize that. That's why we have a lot of guys that watch the channel that are in STEM, engineers, plumbers. I don't know if we have any mathematicians, but like men that are in science, technology, engineering, and math. Like those types of men usually make quite a bit of money, but their fields are very difficult. It's very competitive. But there's a lot of other blue collar men out there that bust their cheeks to go to work. Bust their cheeks. Oh, that was probably the worst thing. Bust their cheeks. These men go out in the world and they bust their butt to go make a good living. But the thing is, a lot of you women would next these blue collar men, and these are some of the best men on the market. Absolute best men on the market. You don't have to share them most of the time. The Chads, they're going to want to share you, and they'll also never wipe you up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to cop the ebook, The 4 Pillars of Personality. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys tomorrow, man. Peace.